What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the No Cap Space. I'm Tyler, joined by Shawnee and Greer, and WNBA free agency is officially rolling. The first days have come and gone, and some moves have been made, some major ones at that. So we got three tiers here. We got winners, we got triers, and we got what the hell are y'all doing? And we're going to start with the winners. I'm very excited about this, y'all, because the Atlanta Dream, that's where I want to start. I feel like there's two teams that are really big winners in this, and the Atlanta Dream are one of them. I don't think you really could have asked for much more if you're an Atlanta Dream fan in this. So, Greer, we can start with you. Like, Jordan Canada gets traded. You pick up Tina Charles, the UConn legend, Tina Charles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're making all the moves that make sense for kind of
listen, like Dan and company got to work, right? There was an over-reliance on Ryan Howard last year to create offense for them. They had some other offensive pieces where they were trying to run like a read and react system, but I don't think that was like a lot of that wasn't the strong suit of the person that they had, right? And then they worked Cheyenne Parker to death last season. And so getting Tina, alleviating just that pressure on Cheyenne, like Cheyenne, when she's playing decent minutes, is a force in this league, a very, very productive player. Ryan, I would like to just see like more offensive continuity for the Dream. And I think landing Jordan Canada, who was an amazing contributor last year for the Sparks, and
Aerial Powers as well.
Aerial Powers, another a threat on the perimeter, a player who has playoff experience as well. I think Dan, the GM, Dan Padover, the GM of the Atlanta Dream, in I think what's year 2 of the job for him.
I believe so, yeah, that sounds right.
Did a really, really great job for what they had available and the moves they made.
Yeah. Shawnee, you ready to see some more reading and reacting?
No, because I still really don't care for that system. It just feels kind of lazy to me. But if you're gonna stick with that system, I like getting a bunch of veterans who are can go get a bucket in this league and have been doing that for years. Like Aerial Powers, very popular on the open run circuit. So, she don't need no plays called for her. She do it herself. But like that, going back to Greer's point, that was like on the top of the list. Get Cheyenne Parker some help, please. Because she's down there banging with everybody. So you got not only a big, but you got like a banging big so that you can, compete. Because Dallas is coming back. Like,
and we're gonna get to them.
So we're gonna get to them. And then also worth noting, like Mo Billings she's heading to she signed with Los Angeles. So it's like that was another body you lost. So I think they did an amazing job of fleshing out that roster and fitting into what Tanisha's system is so far. Only thing I really would like to see is play LA. Play my dog. And then get Honshu. Excuse me.
There you go.
We still working on getting Honshu to spell house homecoming.
Free Han. I would say I think it's pretty safe to say that as a team in its entirety that Atlanta was probably the biggest winner. But when it comes to one move, nobody did better than Seattle. Getting Skylar Diggins-Smith, it was like everyone like kind of was like, okay, this is probably gonna happen. But then it happened, and it was like, oh damn, they really did it. Pairing her back with her college teammate in Jewel Lloyd. Obviously, there's still some other pieces on the board like Nneka that could still come and join potentially. DeWanna Bonner even has kind of seen that swirling on the timeline. So there's some other moves for them to make. But they trade their 4th pick to do this. They trade Kia Nurse and their pick to make this cap space. They gamble on it. And now you got Skylar Diggins-Smith. Like, it doesn't, like when it comes to free agency moves, and especially in the W where everything's so constricted, it's hard to pinpoint a move like this very often that is such a major player. So what do y'all kind of see like the expectation, I guess? Obviously, there's still more moves to be made for Seattle, but this immediately becomes a completely different team and different expectations by adding Skylar.
So you got to sign one of those big names because, again, in this draft class, to go all in and trade it away to create space, like that means they're really expecting one of those moves. Shout out to Rashard. Go to the No Cap Space Substack and read his article.
In the description.
In case you forgot who Skylar Diggins-Smith is, he
gonna remind you. One thing Shard gonna do is remind you about Skylar.
You know, he did his duty as a stand and remind who she is. So I think that raises the ceiling. They're not a contender yet, but they're definitely a playoff team. And, you know, considering they were like on the outside looking in, that takes the pressure off of Jewel, that takes some of the shots off of Jewel, because she's a scoring point guard as well as a facilitator. I think that takes some of the pressure off of my girl, Ezzy. Like, she can, you know, really focus in on, you know, having a more solidified role. You had Dulcie and Jordan, you know, coming up. So they got some solid pieces to work with. They just need depth and like that one more big name to kind of bring it all home. Because right now they're like a fun team that's gonna make the playoffs, but they're not gonna, you know, they're not a world beater yet.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Greer, how are you feeling
Yeah.
about it?
I felt great about it. I thought, like Richard said, like this decision for Skylar was about more than basketball, right? It's about like who's going to value me as a integral piece of a franchise. And I think like Seattle, we know that they have like an all-female ownership group, right? They're one of the only teams in the league who's going to have their own training facility that they've already broken ground on. Climate Pledge Arena is just like a great place to, I'm sure, go to work every day and play basketball. And then it's also,
and you know that house, Greer. How you know what Climate Pledge is?
Exquisite arena. But I also think we're talking about a city and a franchise that's accustomed to winning, right? And so they've also gone from like worst to first before, right? When Stewie came in the league. So they know what this is like. They know what rebuilding is like, and they also know how to do it like pretty quickly, right? They have a lot of institutional know-how. So I trust that the Storm getting Skylar is just like the tip of the iceberg, and I think they can be right back in those championship conversations if they were to swing NECA or DeWanna Bonner. Like, I think that firmly puts them above New York, even in my opinion, if they get either one of them.
Because they already have an Australian. Like, you know, like it's not official until they get you know, a solid Australian piece.
And they have it.
They got energy. They got Jade Melbourne.
Hey now,
hold on. No, I see it.
Yeah.
They're if they get that other big star piece, they instantly. I think they're like tier 2, like mid-tier 2 right now. Like they'll make the playoffs, and they have the chance to knock somebody off. I don't really see them as a title contender. They go and get a NECA, a DB, or somebody in that realm. They jump. Like you're talking top of tier 2, nearing tier 1 within the W, and the Aces are kind of in their own tier at this point. But like, you know, like it's still shoddy. But yeah, like they obviously there's still plenty of moves to make. I don't think the Seattle Storm are anywhere close to done in this part of like in free agency or in the draft time or whatever this window is. But it's a hell of a start. Skylar Smith is a hell of a start. I think one team that maybe has flown under the radar as a winner, because they didn't really add anything, but they retained everything. That's the Dallas Wings, who they re-signed Satu Sabali, they re-signed Kalani Brown, and they made a huge jump last year under head coach Latricia Tramble, the drip chain, Oklahoma's own LT. You know, that's my partner in Bob right there. And they made a bunch of huge strides, and that was the worry after that was like, okay, well, are they going to be able to run it back? And it's kind of looking like they are. So I'd like to know your thoughts. Like, are y'all cool with them just running it back essentially with this same roster as last year?
Yeah, I mean, their targets were keeping Satu and keeping Kalani, and they did that on multiple year deals for both of them. And then, you know, considering that we already know that what's your girl, Shawnee? What's your girl? 6'5", lanky.
a walk.
A walk. Clear. She's not coming back this year. She won't be playing for them this season. I think that they'll get back like a healthy Lou Lopez, Shinashal. I think the big that they drafted last year out of Iowa State, I'm presuming that she'll be at least healthy enough to like go to training camp and stuff like that. Like they've really got real depth now, you know, at a lot of different positions, and more continuity, more buy-in on the defensive end, because that is ultimately what wins you series and games and things like that in this league. So I like where they're headed. You know, I didn't think like a Greg Bibb led team would ever like see sunshine at the end of the rainbow, but
we're here. It's looking sunny. It's looking sunny in Dallas.
It looks like they have a real plan finally. Yeah. So shouts out to them.
And that's the thing, like the continuity and working on what you have. Because I'm tired of seeing Greg Bibb in the draft. Like every move is like it's like he's picking out of a hat. Like, oh, okay, cool. Because I still don't understand the rookies he got last year, but it's like you have an established team that is gonna wear some people down just by the sheer will of that Big T Kalani 1-2 punch. So like they can fit in Suarez, they can fit in what's homegirl from the Big East career?
Seagrass?
Seagrass, as she gets her legs under her and kind of figures out what she needs to do, you can start fitting these rookies in, even though I don't fully understand what the vision was with them. It's not going to hurt them, basically. But like, yeah, above all, you don't have to see Greg Bibb dominating the draft because I'm tired.
I think that they'll probably stay put at where they are in this draft too, because like they're in, I forget exactly the pick. They're later in the first round, and they're going to be in position to draft a point guard that whatever kind of stylistically that they want. That feels like kind of the obvious choice for them to draft. I think Dangerfield did solid, like she was solid for them last year, but that's kind of like the point where they could use.
Yeah, she was solid for them, but in the playoffs when it's like so matchup driven, having a small guard that defense can pick on. Another UConn legend, Christian Dangerfield, love her down, but that's just the truth, like you need a little bit more size at that position when the going gets tough, and for where they want to be and where they're like trending toward, and they're going to need some more size at that position. And year 2 of Dallas Wings doing their thing.
It's the Renaissance.
They had a 5'10" point guard that was capable of playing some defense.
Where could you find one of those? I guess in Connecticut.
Well, free now. Thank goodness. Where is Ty Harris?
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it wasn't anything flashy from Dallas, but they're winners. Like just by maintaining continuity, that's been something that Dallas has just kind of struggled with just over the years, just with different turnover and players deciding to leave and everything. But they've been able to keep it. They had success last year, and they're keeping it going. And speaking of having success last year and trying to keep it going, the Las Vegas Aces brought back corner three Kia, and Sid Colson, but they also. I gotta quote you on this one, Shawnee. They won the Iowa caucus and got Meg Gustafson, who is another solid rotational piece for them. They don't have we still haven't had any word on Candace Parker. It sounds like they're kind of wait and see kind of how the rehab process is, and I don't know honestly if that's an organization waiting or if that's Candace kind of waiting and seeing how this all goes. It might be a little bit of both. But I mean, simple moves, but like the right moves. Like you don't have much to change if you're the back-to-back change.
Adding Meg Gustafson, a former college player of the year, super team.
Okay.
It's just
right.
Start the hashtag dialogue.
For sure makes them a super team now. Definitely.
Here we go.
But no, I'm super happy for Pancakes Mama. Like that is awesome. You go from purgatory with Phoenix Mercury to
back up Dallas.
Also true. But more recent purgatory.
Yeah, okay. You have hell, and then you was working your way up. I got you.
Yeah. And now she gets to play with, the odds-on favorite to three-peat in this league. So I think there's he is still in a boot, right? Even though we know this doesn't begin today, but I think it's going to be a while for he to even ramp back up, probably.
And same with Candace if she does come back. It just makes total sense to bring her on.
Megan is a proven player in this league with extended minutes and extended opportunity in Phoenix. She did her thing. Simple and plain. And she's a pro in this league now who will probably stay put. So, and again, silver platter for her. There's golden opportunity to just contribute and not to play too crazy outside of yourself, because ultimately you're still playing to next to Asia Wilson.
Yeah, and the Aces have shown all we need is our 5 in that clipboard. As long as Becky's got a working marker,
it's blessed.
Oh, not just the working marker. You're also forgetting a massive component in all this: the hoodie blazer.
Damn right.
You gotta see if that comes into year 3, because I gotta see how she levels up now. Because first year it was different color combinations, different hoodie, different blazer, with the white being the formal blazer. And then this year she had like the Blazers inserted in the hoodie. So now I need to see her take it to a next level. Are we gonna get like a plaid combination? Are we gonna get like pattern Blazers?
Ooh, some pattern. I like that.
I need that. Yeah, we
I
gotta
also
step it up
like the idea of like an embroidery with like 2 rings here or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like
kind of stun on them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like maybe she put that on a white blazer since that's her good blazer. She only busts that out for special occasions.
Not the Kingpin blazer. That's
yeah, but like she's not really known to go deep into her bench until it's an absolute emergency. So it's like, you know, if Kia and Candace are taking their time, we'll just go heavy on the 6. They signed a couple more players, you know, on some
training camp.
Training camp deal. So it's like they'll manage, and you know, we'll have our typical hot start, cool off around the Commissioner's Cup, panic, and then trend upwards, and we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, like when you're the Aces, like I said, just 5 and a working marker and clipboard, and we up.
Well, y'all mentioned escaping Phoenix. How about Natasha Cloud going into Phoenix? Basketball, point guard, they needed it. I get it. Personality? When it comes to mixing, I guess, because I saw that she said that she fits in with the spicy personalities. My mind immediately went to Sophie and DT and
like
Natasha Cloud.
The spicy is literally the person on the opposite end of the political spectrum from you. Yeah. It's very interesting to like, she was like chastising everybody about not caring about, you know, the Middle East crisis and what's going on with Gaza. And you're like saying like, yeah, I'm excited to link up with the spiciness. Like, girl, I guess, good luck. Because when Sophie comes with a Starbucks cup, now I want to see what happens. like stand on business.
But that's
Paul,
what is it?
Like Rondi, Venti, Tall.
Yeah, let's see if she stand on business. But like just from a basketball perspective, I like it because you have not just a point guard, but like you have a defender, you know, and that you need that with DT continuing to get older. Like she never stopped getting older. She keeps getting older. Yes, so you need somebody, you know, like you need somebody
keep getting her ass bust, you know. Canceling out.
You know. Yes, like please get your legend.
Listen, you know, we're going to Paris. All-Star weekend is in Phoenix. You know,
it's the last hurrah.
Bruh, I will make a call and have her stopped at the airport. Absolutely not.
It's happening. Be ready.
Listen, I'm with you though. Like the off the court stuff aside, which is a lot, frankly, but it's the basketball side. I get it, and that's enough to make them winners, and that closes out the winner territory here in.
Well, I do wonder what that means for Mariah Jefferson, though.
They have a couple guards on the roster that
I thought she was decent for them last year, and I thought she was at least definitely one of their more consistent players, like available, and sometimes the best ability is availability, and she was that. So, you know,
well, it'll be interesting. Is still kind of working her way back in. Because it was an Achilles, wasn't it?
No, you're talking about Shea Petty.
Yeah. Shea Petty. God dang it. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Shea Petty. So I mean, like you keep her around for at least a little bit because like Shea's not gonna be
ready,
you know, 100% from day one. And like you said, like that's a solid option. So I keep her around and then, you know, see what you need to do later.
Yeah. Well, that is the winner territory right there. It's time to get into some teams that were like, we see your effort. You tried, you know, and leading that off is the Washington Mystics. It's rebuild time in DC. I think that is becoming increasingly clear. They signed G.D. Richards to a training camp contract, which I'm cool with. It's just I don't really feel like that's what they need exactly. And they also get Carly Samuelson to be able to spread the floor a little bit. No.
Hey, Lee Ming and Carly.
Oh, they're gonna be shooting. They're gonna be shooting. One thing about
prayers up.
They're
gonna defenders in this league.
Yeah, I need them just to have some hot nights and let's just get crazy with it, you know. But ultimately, like, they're still. I feel like it's not exactly the same as last offseason where they just got a lot of the same player. It felt like, but it's still kind of similar. Like, okay, y'all are definitely a defense team. Like we know that for a fact. And
that's the thing. Like they keep ignoring the checklist. The checklist has been get another score.
Right.
Like get another volume score because EDD, like we don't.
And now does that even matter when EDD is probably out the door?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's rebuild time. It's
she's looking for a new suitor, and you put this pressure now on Shakira to like be her immediately instead
who's coming off of surgery as well.
Yes.
I don't know. It's getting malpractice what's happening in Washington, honestly. I'm very confused about just the direction that they're heading in general, because I do think Shakira is a very, very good player, but I don't know that she's a franchise cornerstone. I'm not positive. You know what I mean?
I think we're gonna find out this season.
I mean, this really all goes back to it all comes back to them trading out of the number one, right? And that was the beginning of the end. Tebow's doing his best Derek Fisher impression, I guess, Sean.
Yeah. Ooh. Speaking of Derek Fisher, speaking of Derek Fisher, if we don't get into that, we could talk about the Sparks, who also made attempts. I see the vision with them. They're trying to rebuild. Like it's like they're diving in with this draft. They got picks 2, 4, and 8 with all the trades that they have done, including the Jordan Canada trade with Atlanta. Built through the draft. Like that's and I'm cool with it. Like this is a hell of a draft to try and build through if you're gonna kind of put all your assets into one.
Hey, set it on Twitter. The Derek Fisher D build is done.
It's here.
It's up.
NECA's out the door. It's official.
NECA's out the door. Thanasis Agumike's out the door.
Okay.
Yes, you can put it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got three picks in the top 12. So like,
so almost kind of a TBD.
No shortage of talent.
Yeah, we'll see how they use those picks, but I mean, ultimately, like at the time right now,
like this draft, you can't. It's not Greg Bibb picking these 3 picks in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Like this draft is so deep that it's like no matter who you grab, you'll probably be a winner. So I trust that they'll make the right moves and get the pieces. But it's like you just said, like you got to see, what the vision is in terms of who they're drafting.
Right.
But like, I feel like Cam Brink is coming. Is staying West Coast. I feel it.
Yeah.
They've got a whole new operation. Right, Kurt joined them last year. They hired some front office staff over the
Reagan Pedley's the new GM.
Right. And then they've hired a couple other women too in the last 12 months, promoted a couple people from internal promotions as well. So I am very curious to see like what direction they want to take the Sparks in this new like landscape and with women's sports, because I'm from LA. I go to a lot of Sparks games. I think the Spark, like the experience and the history of their team, I think it's been done a major disservice over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
As one of the original, founding teams of this league. Like how far they've fallen it's kind of tough to see, even though I've never necessarily been a Sparks fan, but it's still hard to watch as like we're in a prime market and there was so little to be excited about for the last few years.
Yeah. Because they kept shoving you on that little pyramid gym. That pyramid gym was weird.
Yeah. And I'd say that one of the teams that they were constantly trying to make history against, the Minnesota Lynx, also tried their best. And I'm indifferent right now. They trade Tiffany Mitchell to Connecticut for Natasha Heidemann, and they get Courtney Williams. They get Alana Smith. So they made some decent moves. Like I'm intrigued. I guess my interest is piqued. I don't really have a full on grasp on what they've done so far. How are y'all feeling?
They still need a big. And I think they've positioned themselves to like draft one. So they're still like in good position to make something shake and become, like a playoff team. But right now, because like with the Tiffany Mitchell one, I was like, I don't like that. I don't know what y'all doing, but okay. So then I didn't expect the Courtney Williams and Alana Smith signing. So that to me was a welcome surprise. So I think they are trending in the right direction, and they have the potential to. Is Cheryl still the GM? No, they gotta full-time GM, right? Okay,
I
so
think they split it, but I mean, come on now.
no, but like she can focus because like she was getting a little stressed out there having to do and then the clipboarding and then the filing and the stuff. So I let her focus on her job and go get her the pieces she needs. So they're in a good position. It's just I need to see a little more.
Yeah, no,
I mean, I obviously trust her track record in terms of like evaluating rookies coming in and like who can contribute and putting them in positions to succeed, right? Diamond, Dorka, Nafisa as a rookie, like they're fine. I do like the Courtney Williams pickup a lot. I think she adds like a dynamic that they haven't had in a very, very long time, maybe since like Simone. And not to say that Courtney is a Simone-like scorer, but just like a kind of confidence, a kind of like a.
You don't want to say dog, you don't want to say it, but you know,
kind of like right, like a certain bravado, right? Yeah. Like that they haven't had. You know, we were calling them like the what were you calling them? I don't maybe I should.
Beige.
Thank you. But yeah, like Courtney, just giving them a little, just bring it up.
It's just a little oomph to it, you know.
Yeah,
like
and so
I see the vision with that.
I like it.
Yeah, well that closes out the triers. Now we have two teams in the. What the hell are y'all up to? The Chicago Sky. Literally, I don't know what the hell y'all are up to. Y'all really ain't done nothing. And the Indiana Fever gave Katie Lou Samuelson damn near $200K for 2 years. What the hell are y'all doing? It's
Chicago. It's like another year of people leaving, and we're like, uh-oh. Again, I did not expect Courtney Williams to dip out like that. So now you have the momentum from a new ownership group and a new head coach, and who's playing for them?
We're gonna find out opening night.
Or is it like deceleration is more?
Uh-oh.
You know, like I'm confused with what Chicago's doing. Like if they. You know, it was rumored that they hosted NECA, and if they swing and miss on NECA and Chennai
and Skylar,
yeah,
because I feel like now what do you have to appeal to NECA? Because it's like ain't nobody there.
And also, what do you say to Ka? You know, what do you?
Yeah,
she's locked in now, but like,
but for how long? Right?
Yeah.
How long?
That's what I'm saying. Is like she's under contract, but like how long does that contract really run for at this rate, you know? And
then
Indiana,
I don't. Yeah, and
I would have liked
Skylar.
Yeah,
I said specifically, Lynn Dunn, you go and you get Skylar, and she did not listen. Her and her Boosie fade, she was not paying attention to what I was saying. She did not go and get the needs, and she didn't get Skylar. So now Aaliyah Boston is okay. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna get the draft pick. But I still don't like the way the team is constructed as is currently. Like I wanted Skylar. Didn't listen.
Yeah. No, I'm there with you. I don't know what either of those teams are doing. But we're gonna be here covering it the whole way. Through the rest of free agency, through draft, all the biggest things happen in the W and in NCAA. The No Cap Space is the place to be. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any content. Check out the playback down low. Come watch games with us. Check out the Substack. We got some print articles on there so you don't miss a thing coming from the No Cap Space. And we'll see y'all next time.